what would I tell myself at the beginning of my career? I would tell myself that you have every right to be here, and you will be able to generate business, affect the bottom line of the organisation, that are lucky to have you. And media is the right sector for you.
I think what I would take from it, going from the personal experiences and the experiences of women that I've spoken to, I would say moving forward, be more prepared to listen. Businesses should be more prepared to listen, and people should be braver in being able to raise an issue and debate it. And you may be right, you may be wrong, but have the conversation.
And to
that's
learn.
what I would say.
And learn through that process, because ultimately that's what we're doing. We're learning, and evolving, hopefully. I think if I just start with sort of the current big topic in my sector has been the perceived lack of women directors being nominated for the Oscar. And I don't know whether you've been following the arguments and whether there is an issue that's brought to the public attention. And I know you and I have discussed this earlier on, and I think what that question is really asking is there inequality in the media space? And I think it'd be naive of me to say there isn't. And I think there's the issues that arise in my sector also arise in your sector.
It certainly applies to the corporate sector. And certainly at a senior level, it's a subject close to our hearts that we talk about a lot, isn't it? And recognising actually where there may be a difference in the treatment of men and women. Almost invariably, it's not intended. But there is a lack of awareness, and I think some of that awareness comes from the fact that it is still the case that that top of that greasy ladder of success is actually still a very male-dominated environment. And in that sense, it is sometimes just down to awareness rather than anything that's actually deliberate.
And I think also we've spoken about, rather than looking at the end product of what takes place in our respective disciplines, what we should be looking at is there something wrong with the structure? Is there something wrong with the pipeline that's preventing able being coming forward? And for example, if I just throw out a statistic, if you look at the percentage of women that are involved in high grossing films, from whether they're directors or producers, that amounts to about 20%, and that's like a really poor derisory figure. So there must be something wrong from the very beginning in terms of
what's stopping them coming through. I mean, it's interesting actually, even in law firms, because if you look at the lower levels, actually, I would say in our corporate department, I think we've got more women than we actually have men. But the problem is how you keep those really good women and how they come up through the ranks.
And what's happening? Why are they dropping off?
Yes, exactly. And that's what we're trying to identify. And there are some obvious subjects around that, and actually one of them is the gender pay gap, or should I say, is there a gender pay gap?
I think we can safely say there is an issue.
There is. I think you have to be careful with statistics, because statistics in the end can give you the outcome that you want. But I think that whatever statistics you look at, if you look at certainly senior roles and management executive type roles, there definitely is a gap. But interestingly, at the lower end, and I think it was something like, if you look at the under 40s, some statistics will show you that it's zero. The gender pay gap is zero. But lots of things help that, salary bands and things like that. But it's not the same picture if you start moving up the ladder. There is actually quite a difference between the two.
So just happy International Women's Day.
So we'll do that. Oh yeah, that was it, because you said it really miserably.
Did I? I'm sorry about that.